Hello again. So once again, we're back with an update. Uh, the first thing that got updated today was the issue of objects or terrain specifically spawning inside of other terrain because we don't want that. So what I've done in software is, so my function that spawns terrain, it it grabs the piece of terrain, then goes, is that terrain in a valid placement? Goes no, starts in a while loop. Now while it's false, it'll keep doing that. So basically gets this stuff is basically just gets the spot it wants to put it in, then it double checks with physics whether it can fit in that spot, and if it can, it sets the terrain placement to be true, chucks it in, and then jumps to the next one. Now I did actually have an experience where uh, I forgot this little line here, which for those of you who know about programming will know what happened there. But for the rest of us, basically what happens is it just gets stuck in that loop forever, and I pretty rapidly saw well, it locked up because it was busy doing stuff, and then it also started just eating memory. It went from about half a gigabyte to a gigabyte and a half in about a minute. Okay, so that was the first thing we fixed. Now, the other thing we fixed was the rolling. So instead of contacting it and rolling across that object, it now you contact that object, it resets the speed, the velocity in all directions, and then through a series of maths things, bounces off. So what it does is it goes, okay, what's the current position of the object? What's the current position of the center of the object it's hitting? It takes the first one, minuses the second one, I think it's that order, and then applies that as a force. Now, originally, the issue was with a larger scale object. If I were to touch, say, one of these walls at the very side, then if I were to touch it over here, then it grabs the vector from the start there, all the way over there, and applies it. And pretty rapidly, I found myself way outside the boundary. It basically just went, nope, done. So what you do is you normalize that vector, which reduces it to a magnitude of 1. So it's just a small push, and it just tells me the direction. And then we add in our own push force to allow us to tweak that, so you don't end up pinballing away from everything. The next thing I did, so we've added in some user interface elements, which I will show you now. So we've got our score, our time, our number of intruders, because the theme of this is a intrusion countermeasure system in a hypothetical computer, and a crosshair. Now you can see the crosshair is the little X in the middle there. If I shoot that, it's accurate if your position is, if you're not moving. As soon as you start moving, it becomes slightly inaccurate. And as you can see there, we've got our score, we've got our time that's counting down, and we've got our number of intruders. As this game continues, the idea is to have multiple modes. One that's just finish this at a certain amount of time. The other one is, basically waves where it gets continually more complex. Now, let me show you the bounce off. So this is actually we'll approach this from the flat end. I hit it, boop, knocks me off. Although that's not supposed to be moving. I will need to check that. That's not supposed to happen. But if I, for example, so you see how I'm further away? Now watch as I see how it's moving me away from the origin point. Like instead of bouncing me up, it's decided to bounce me sideways. So I'll need to have another look at the system there and work out why that is. But so far, things are looking good. We're pretty rapidly closing in on the end of it. But yeah, thank you for that. And if you care, um, subscribe and all that jazz. Give me engagement. Lord knows I don't get much. Bye.